Hello everyone and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick and this is my daily ramble. Going to do something a little bit differently today. I've been bloody busy at work the last 2 days, so you'll have to excuse me if I'm a little bit behind the curve on West Ham news. But I'm going to touch on just the game at the weekend again, just my overarching thoughts and heartbreak at watching that game. You know, relief at the 3 points, but, you know, just want to kind of get it through. Just get my thoughts out there. We don't need to be seeing that. We don't want to be seeing that again. And also something a little bit different. I'm gonna give a virtual team talk to the players. All right, a little bit of a pep talk. So talking about the Newcastle game coming up. All right, but before we move ahead with that, please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and like this stream as well, if that's okay. You know, even if you don't enjoy it, it's not your cup of tea. Like it because it does tell the YouTube algorithm to share it around. Okay, right. Well, look, the Southampton game. We've spoken about it. It was hard enough to watch it, let alone talk about it. It was horrible. It was two of the worst performing teams that I've seen. You know, I'm not going to say they are the two worst teams in the league, but that in terms of form and the way that we're playing, then yes, it probably was. You know, both teams on that performance. If we played like that till the end of the season, you'd say both teams deserve to go down. I know we came out on top, but look, the long and short of it is we can't play like that forever. We just can't. So I just hope that the players can find it within themselves to, I don't know, step their game up. I know there's nerves. I know there's nerves involved. I know they're hamstrung by the ball and chain that is David Moyes. I know this. You know, we all do. But seriously, we've got to stop. We've got to stop playing football like this. You know, it'd be such a shame. We've got 16 games left. We've got 11 games, well, potentially 16 games left. We've got 11 games in the league remaining, and we've got 5 games maximum in the Europa League. That's a lot of games left. And irrespective of David Moyes' fucking tactics and his shape that he puts out, which is always going to be the same, you know, we know this. You know, there might be a few little tweaks here and there, but the long and short of it is it's going to be the same. The same old, same old. That doesn't mean that the players need to listen. It doesn't. Now, look, David Moyes is going at the end of the season. He is. He's going to go. So I'm not expecting the players to be watching this. I know that they don't. But he's going at the end of the season. Okay? Play for yourselves and play for the fans. Please. Like you have had the misery of playing under this awful manager this season, because that is what he is. He's tactically awful. He's hamstrung you. He's made your lives a misery. He's made our lives a bloody misery watching you. You know, the likes of Declan Rice and everyone else who's been doing his best to sort of lead that team. Just literally, do you know something? I'm not saying an on-field mutiny, all right? But just go for the game. Go for the jugular. You know, go out there, enjoy yourselves. Play like you're over the park. Do you know what I mean? Just get some enjoyment back in yourselves. You all look crestfallen, all of you. What's the worst that can happen this season? We're going to get relegated. You're all going to move on and go your different ways and get your own moves and stuff like that. Or you could do the unthinkable and you could not only save West Ham, but you could possibly save this season by giving us something to smile about towards the end of the season. In the season where you know, Carlos Tevez, when we stayed up, the final 9 games, 10 games that year, we literally went for every game. For every game, we went at it, you know. Nothing like what we saw the other day. That didn't look like two teams that were in a relegation fight. It didn't at all. You know, all the other teams that are down there, or the majority of them, are going to fight. They're going to try and go for the wins, you know. Don't play the badges, play the teams. You're a fantastic bunch of players, and there's players that are there at the moment that the fans know from years past who are good and effective that have now become not so much, and there's new players that have come in that have struggled under David Moyes. And you know what? It's not too late to become heroes at West Ham, and to also not have a little blotch on your CVs as well. You don't want to be part of being in a team, even if you want your moves at the end of the season, even if that is what you want. You don't want this on your CVs. You don't want to be part of one of the worst teams that I've seen in my lifetime that ends up getting us relegated, irrespective of whether that bloke is the manager or not. And I know it's difficult, but please, I'm begging you, play for yourselves and play for the fans. If you play for the fans and you go out there and you give 110%, you know, we will give it back. We'll give it back. If it's passive on the field, it will be passive in the stands. When you go around and you look at the likes of Crystal Palace at the weekend, when you watch that game and you saw all the fans that were going mad, they were going mad because Palace were going for the game. They had about 30 shots on target before the opposition scored against them. You know, they deservedly won. They scored a 95th minute winner because they continued to push towards the end of the game. That's why they got that winner. You know? So, you know what I am saying is, ignore fucking David Moyes. Please ignore him. Okay? I know he's going to get the tactics balled out. I know he's going to tell you the same thing that you've all heard 1,000 times before. Safety, safety, safety. Don't let a goal in. Don't let a goal in. Do you know what? We've got the job done against Southampton. Okay? If you play like that against Newcastle, we're going to get beat anyway. Go out there. Have a go at them. Have a go at them. You know? I'd like Areola to have stayed in, but Fabianski played well the other day. So Fabianski, you know, just you're a great keeper. You don't really need much of a pep talk. You're a professional. You always come in. You always do your job. Tilo Kehrer, I'm hoping that you hold your right back slot back. I'm a little bit worried because you'll get tested more than what you did against Southampton, who are terrible. But you played incredibly well the other day. That was probably your best performance in the West Ham shirt. I've always liked you. I do think that there is a very, very good player in there. Just literally, I just want these players to get further up the pitch. And attack, you know. Don't worry so much. Don't beat yourselves up so much about conceding. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just go out there, try and entertain this crowd. Entertain yourselves. Entertain yourselves. You know, that back four, Emerson's the same thing. You know, I kind of miscalled it on Emerson. You know, he's the type of player that I don't know. When he came in, he kind of, well, we didn't see him for a long time. And then when we did see him, I thought, oh, God, here we go. You know, we've got another Masuaku. But no, you're a good player. An absolutely a brilliant player on that left-hand side. You know, and the fact that you were playing with an illness the other day and that was the reason that you had to get rotated off. I didn't know that before the game. When Cresswell came on, my heart sank. Even though, listen, I do love Cresswell as well. It's just that, you know, his form has gone and I would rather you play there at the moment. Zuma and Aguero at the back, you know. I hope that Zuma's going to be okay. I did see him go down at the final whistle. I hope he's going to pull through on that. I mean, he walked off okay, but you know, you're a bit of a throwback centre back. You know, very old fashioned in the Dawson mould. I think, you know, there's no frills about you. You know, you kind of you're not the best passer of the ball. You're not the best ball carrier, but you do all the things that a defender should be able to do extremely well. You know, you read the game well. Your tackling's brilliant and you're great in the air. And then we've got Aguero as well. So with Aguero and Kehrer in that back line, we should be able to be a little bit braver and push a little bit higher. We should be able to do that. That gives us pace because we know that he's a cultured defender. You know, he's got recovery pace. He can pick the ball up, he can carry it, and he can spray the passes about. That's what he can do. So there is no reason for us to sit back and just kind of invite the opposition on. We don't need to do it. Going into midfield, Declan Rice. Dec, you've done all... I believe this now. You've done all that you can this year, apart from... This is what I'm talking about now. It hasn't been working. It's not going to work. You know, if after a 2.5-week international break, we've come back and we're doing the same thing against Southampton that has got us into this mess in the first place, something needs to change. And if that man isn't going to do it, which he clearly isn't, then someone's got to take the ball by the horns, have another couple of players' meetings, get an agreement with those players. You are the captain. If you want to leave on a high, which I believe that you can, you know, we can go out on a high, then get everyone on side. Get everyone on side in that team and then get out there, and irrespective of what starting 11 David Moyes picks, you know, you all know how to play football. You know, you were born with more talent, all of you lot, than we can all dream of. We'd love to be professional footballers, but there is no reason. You didn't become a professional footballer to play that style. No, you didn't. When you was a kid playing over the park, you did not dream of fucking not having the ball and having someone who don't believe in you, so be scared of the opposition. The manager might be scared. It doesn't mean that you have to be. It don't mean that you have to be. So rally the troops, get them all together, get everyone on side. And do you know what? Yeah, I am calling for it. And on the field mutiny, in a good way, a positive way. I've listened to the Anton Ferdinand podcast on the Hammers chat where he said exactly the same thing happened when we had Kirbishley in charge. And Lucas Neal rounded everyone up, and then basically the players just played how they wanted to play when they was on the field. And, you know, everyone was happy. The players were happy. The fans were happy. The manager was happy because he was getting all the credit for it. But don't worry about that. You know, the people at the club will know who this is down to. He's gone at the end of the season. Just let's just go out on a high. Give us something to cheer about. You know, please, God. Lucas Paqueta. My God, honestly, going back to a holiday I had in Ibiza in when I was 18, you know, back in 1998, you are the best Brazilian I've seen since then. You're the best Brazilian I've seen since then. And that was a lovely Brazilian, I will tell you. But you are better than your counterpart, Bruno Guimaraes, on a Newcastle team. You're a better player. You've been shining in this shit sandwich of a team this year. You've been doing really well. This has been you've become a great player. You've adapted. You're gritty. Get in there. I don't want no old pals act. You know, give your mate a cuddle after the game. But when you're on that pitch, mate, kick him up in the air. You're the better player. You are the better player than Bruno Guimaraes. I'm certain of it. You're a great player. Just we just need to get the ball to Paqueta. We've got to get the ball to him because he can drive the ball. He can carry it. He can pick a pass from a central area. We don't do that enough. And then my old mate Thomas Souček. Thomas Souček. Look, mate, you couldn't pass water. You know, we know that. But you've lost confidence. We can see it. You're way better than what you're showing now. And I know it's not through lack of effort because your character isn't such of somebody that downs tools. So I'll feel heartbroken for you. I'll feel heartbroken for the fact that you've not been taken out the firing line, but you are going to get played again, even though you need a rest. But get back to doing what you do best. You're not a passer. Those are not your qualities. Get back to what made you effective for us when you first came in. You know, hopefully the team will get together, you know, get up there, support the striker, whether that be Antonio, whether it be Danny Ings, whoever plays, get up there close to them, support them, make those late runs into the box, look for those crosses coming in. You know, you're a box crasher. That's what you're good at. You know, and in the middle of the field, just break up play, get in there, be aggressive, be that aggressive player again, you know, and you'll get some confidence back. You know, you're not a crap player. You're not. You're not a beautiful passing player, but you're very effective at what you do. So just stick to that. Just stick to that. All right, and then you won't get judged on the other stuff because the goals that will come and you know some crunching tackles, it will all outweigh everything else. Get back into that. Ben Rama, you know, I'm hoping that you're going to play and not get dropped for a poor game the other day. And to be quite honest, I don't blame you entirely for the poor game. Looking at it in retrospect, I think that you were scared. There was people that were saying, why don't he just take people on? You were scared of leaving space behind you. That's what you was doing. The only time you started going forward was once Emerson overlapped you and showed some impetus. It looked like you was acting on instructions. You looked scared to actually go forward and do what you've been doing for a while. You know, because there is no way that Benny would have done what he did in that game, where he did slam the brakes on, turn around and pass it back. He would never do that. That's under instruction. Fuck those instructions. Do what you can do. Get the ball down, get your head down, beat the man in front of you, whip the ball in. Or cut inside and have a shot. That's what you got to do, mate. You know, that's what the fans have fallen in love with this year. You've been brilliant this year, probably our best attacker. So again, don't be weighed down by that fool that is giving you instructions. Don't worry about it. Just concentrate. If they score, fuck it. We've got to go up the other end and we've got to score as well. Let's have a goal fest. Let's watch a storming match. If we lose it, we lose it. Just give that team, give the fans that go over there on a Wednesday night something interesting to watch. Please. Bowen, you know, we don't seem to be able to get a full game out of you at the moment. I don't know whether it's because you ain't got the strength in your legs because you're doing too much shagging. I ain't got a clue. But we don't get 90 minutes of Jared Bowen from last season out of you anymore. You know? So I don't know what you've got to do, but you're a fantastic player. But we need you from the off. We need the second half, Bowen, from Southampton, from the first minute. You know, you're brilliant, you're hard working, you're flying to tackles, you're constantly on your knees rubbing your foot for 5 minutes every time you get touched. That annoys me. But look, you win fouls, that's fine. But we need you from the off. Whatever you've got to do. Honestly, blue ball. I don't know what's going on. Right, I'm not going to re-record, so you're just going to have to do with that. Right, honestly, blue balls, mate. That's what you got to do. You've got to come in, just fucking be like a, I don't know, just be like a Randy dog and Newcastle with the bitches in heat. Just get out there, get after them. That is what we need. you know? And then whoever plays up front, whether it's Mickey, if we're playing one up front, I hope it is, or if it's Danny Ings. Danny Ings, don't lose heart, mate, you know? Lose heart in the fucking bloke that is managing you, who came out and said he's got to get to know you, even though this is a bloke who's done his due diligence, and apparently he's watched more Premier League football than anyone else. That should have been a sackable offence alone, that comment that he came out with. No, that's his problem if he don't know how to play you. And you know what? The teammates, everyone that we've spoken to subsequently, you know how to get the best out of Danny Ings. Soucek, get close to him. Bowen, get close to him. Benny, fucking help him out. Get him in the box. Give him chances. He'll score goals. Antonio, just because he's good at running the channels, don't mean that that's all we've got to do. Pump balls up there to make him work his arse off all the time. The same thing with him. Give him some actual chances to score goals. The other day when he came on, the 2 best crosses were put in by him. But he weren't in the box because he put the fucking crosses in. So give him some service. Work as a team. For God's sake. Just literally go out there. Get in their faces. They ain't that good. Player for player, Newcastle ain't that good. They're not. They're coached better. They've got a better manager. That's a fact. But player for player, Newcastle are not better than West Ham. So what I'm saying is, tactically, listen to the fucking div with the magnetic checkers. Listen to him before the game, but know what you're doing before you go out on that pitch. And what we want you to do is come out there and entertain us. And like I said, entertain yourselves. Have a good time. Let's fucking go out with a bang. Come on. We've got to do it. We just give us something to cheer about this year, please. I'm begging you. So look, that's it from me. Like I say, virtual team talk to nobody because no one's going to watch this. But this is what the boys need. That honestly, and I feel so sorry for them. I feel heartbroken for the fans, but I feel sorry for them as well. You know, they've been weighed down by this prick who manages our team. Absolutely weighed down by him. He's just corrupted this whole team. But they can do something about it. They've got the talent to do it. They just need the spirit. They need the spirit to do it. So look, that's it from me. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow night. I might do a watch along. We'll see what happens, but I'm definitely going to do a post-match reaction. All right? So yes, I hope you enjoyed that absolutely rubbish video. You know, I had to do something, but yeah, virtual team talk. There you go. Maybe they should give me the job. Who knows? Come on, you heads.